Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of remarkable individuals who have shaped the course of human history. Today, we turn our attention to Karl Marx, a man whose ideas would go on to influence the trajectory of modern thought and politics. Born in the early 19th century, Marx's life was marked by a unique blend of intellectual curiosity, personal conviction, and historical circumstance. As we explore the early life of Karl Marx, we find ourselves in the picturesque town of Trier, nestled in the Moselle region of Germany. It is here, on May 5, 1818, that Marx was born to Heinrich and Henrietta Marx, a family of modest means but considerable intellectual heritage. His father, a lawyer and enthusiastic supporter of the Enlightenment, would play a significant role in shaping young Karl's worldview. The Marx family resided in a comfortable, though not opulent, home on Siemensstrasse, surrounded by the rolling hills and vineyards of the Moselle Valley. As a child, Marx was exposed to a rich cultural landscape, with his family's Jewish heritage and his father's liberal values instilling in him a strong sense of social justice. The young Karl was an avid reader, devouring the works of classical authors such as Homer and Shakespeare, as well as the writings of modern thinkers like Immanuel Kant and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. His early education took place at the Trier Gymnasium, where he excelled academically and developed a passion for philosophy and history. In 1835, Marx began his studies at the University of Bonn, where he was drawn to the works of Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, a prominent German philosopher. Marx's fascination with Hegelian thought would later influence his own philosophical ideas about dialectics and historical development. During his time in Bonn, Marx also became acquainted with the Young Hegelians, a group of radical thinkers who sought to apply Hegelian philosophy to contemporary social and political issues. In 1836, Marx transferred to the University of Berlin, where he continued his studies in philosophy and law. It was during this period that he began to question the traditional views of his family and the societal norms of his time. Marx's exposure to the ideas of Ludwig Feuerbach, a prominent critic of Hegel, also had a significant impact on his thought as he began to develop his own critique of religion and philosophy. The influences of his childhood, education, and early intellectual pursuits all contributed to the development of his unique perspective on the world. Marx's relationship with his family was also an important factor in shaping his early life. His father, Heinrich, was a kind and supportive figure who encouraged Karl's intellectual pursuits. His mother, Henrietta, was a strong-willed woman who managed the household and raised their 9 children. Marx's siblings, including his brothers Hermann and Edgar, also played an important role in his early life, providing companionship and intellectual stimulation. With his intellectual curiosity, passion for philosophy, and strong sense of social justice, Marx is poised to make a significant impact on the world. As we discussed earlier, Marx's early life was marked by intellectual curiosity, personal conviction, and historical circumstance. Marx's collaboration with Friedrich Engels was a pivotal moment in his life. The two men met in Paris in 1844, and their partnership would last for over 4 decades. Engels, who came from a wealthy family, provided Marx with financial support and shared his passion for socialist ideals. Together, they co-authored several works, including The Holy Family and The German Ideology, which laid the groundwork for their later writings on communism and historical materialism. One of Marx's most significant contributions to philosophy was his development of dialectical materialism. This framework, which built upon the ideas of Hegel and Feuerbach, posited that history is driven by class struggle and the conflict between opposing forces. Marx argued that society progresses through a series of dialectical stages, with each stage representing a higher level of human consciousness and economic organization. This idea would become a cornerstone of Marxist thought and would influence generations of thinkers and revolutionaries. In 1848, Marx and Engels published the Communist Manifesto, a pamphlet that outlined their vision for a socialist future. The manifesto's opening lines, "The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles," set the tone for a work that would become a rallying cry for socialists and communists around the world. The manifesto's influence extended far beyond the academic realm. inspiring workers' movements and revolutions across Europe and beyond. Marx's magnum opus, Das Kapital, was published in 1867. This comprehensive critique of capitalism explored the exploitation of labor, the accumulation of wealth, and the contradictions inherent in the capitalist system. Das Kapital was a masterpiece of economic analysis, drawing on Marx's extensive research into the workings of industrial capitalism. The book's impact was immediate, with socialists and radicals hailing it as a landmark work that exposed the inner workings of the capitalist machine. Throughout his life, Marx was driven by a passion for social justice and a commitment to understanding the complexities of human society. His ideas about alienation, commodity fetishism, and the labor theory of value continue to influence thinkers and activists today. With his collaborations with Engels, his development of dialectical materialism, and the writing of Das Kapital, Marx has cemented his place as one of the most influential thinkers in human history. As we discussed earlier, Marx's primary achievements were marked by his collaborations with Friedrich Engels, the development of dialectical materialism, and the writing of Das Kapital. In the 1870s and 1880s, Marx's health began to decline, and he suffered from a range of ailments, including bronchitis, rheumatism, and insomnia. Despite these challenges, Marx remained committed to his work, continuing to write and research with unrelenting passion. He spent countless hours in the British Museum, poring over books and manuscripts, and engaging in lively debates with other intellectuals. One of the most significant events of Marx's later life was the rise of the socialist movement in Europe. As workers' parties and trade unions began to organize, Marx saw an opportunity to put his ideas into practice. He became a key figure in the International Workingmen's Association, which aimed to unite socialists and labor activists across national borders. Through his writings and speeches, Marx helped to shape the direction of the socialist movement, emphasizing the importance of class struggle and the need for workers to take control of their own destiny. Marx's relationships with other prominent thinkers also played a significant role in his later life. He maintained a close friendship with Friedrich Engels, who continued to provide financial support and intellectual stimulation. Marx also engaged in lively debates with other socialists, including Mikhail Bakunin and Pierre-Joseph Proudhon, challenging their ideas and refining his own theories. In the final years of his life, Marx turned his attention to the study of anthropology and pre-capitalist societies. He became fascinated by the work of Lewis Henry Morgan, who had written extensively on the social structures of indigenous communities. Marx saw parallels between the communal practices of these societies and his own vision of a socialist future, where resources would be shared and exploitation would be abolished. As Marx's health continued to decline, he remained committed to his work, dictating notes and letters to his daughters, Eleanor and Laura. His wife, Jenny, was also a source of support, caring for him through his final illness. On March 14, 1883, Karl Marx passed away, surrounded by his family and friends. Marx's legacy is immeasurable, and his ideas continue to shape the world we live in today. With his unwavering commitment to social justice, his intellectual curiosity, and his passion for understanding the complexities of human society, Marx has cemented his place as one of the most influential thinkers of all time. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.